Good morning. Our program will begin in 10 minutes. Please make your way to your seats and ensure your devices are silenced or set to vibrate. Thank you. The program will begin in 5 minutes. Please take your seats. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the final day of SRI 2025. To open this special Juneteenth plenary, please welcome the Grammy Award-winning Soul Children of Chicago.
Good morning, and welcome to the city of Chicago. Can we all stand as we're going to do the national anthem? Today is Juneteenth, and so in honor of Juneteenth, we're going to sing the Lift Every Voice and Sing. So let's go.
With the harmonies,
Now, while you're there, standing, good, thank you. Get your cell phones out because this next song is for you. It's talking about you got another mountain to climb. You got so much that you're working on. And so we want to let you know your dream shall come to pass. Let's go. Get your cell phones out. You're going to light up the world. That's what y'all here to do, all these scientists in the room.
That dream I'm dreaming, there's a voice inside my head. You'll never reach it.
Y'all know this. Some of y'all know
Every
this.
step I'm taking, every move I'm making,
Tell 'em.
lost with no direction.
My faith is shaking.
My faith is shaking.
Huh?
I gotta keep trying.
You're singing to everyone that's making a difference in the world. I want to let you know there's going to be another mountain. Say it.
Always gonna be another mountain.
Always going to want
Always
it.
gonna wanna make it move.
Always going to be.
Always gonna be an uphill battle.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you're gonna have to lose.
Ain't about.
Ain't about how fast I get.
Y'all got that?
Ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
Now, if y'all can climb with us, say it is. This is a message to everybody in this room. The struggle,
I'm facing,
chances,
I'm taking.
sometimes might knock me down. But I ain't breaking.
No, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember most. Just gotta keep going. I gotta keep strong.
No matter what.
Just keep pushing.
Everybody in this room from around the world, there's always going to be a mountain.
Always gonna be another mountain. Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other
Everybody say. And it's looking good, because it's going to be another mountain.
Always gonna be another mountain.
Tell them.
Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
You gotta keep moving. Don't ever give up. Come on, keep moving. Keep climbing. Keep the faith. It's all about the climb, all about the climb. Keep your faith, y'all. Woo! All right, y'all, come on. Oh. Y'all are getting ready to change the world. Come on. Yeah, thank you. We love you. We pray for you. Come on. Look at somebody now. You know, we're a gospel choir, but we're an inspirational group. So I want y'all to do something for me. Just look at the person. I know maybe you don't go to church, or maybe you do, or maybe you got a quiet church. But on this morning, I want y'all to look at somebody and say, I'm really happy. Just, y'all see y'all like y'all scared to death. Look at somebody. Tell them, I'm happy. This is a good morning. It's a great morning, and you all are getting ready to get stirred up because this is going to be the best week of your life. All right, so we're going to do a little song called Happy. Everybody say, I'm happy.
I'm happy.
All right, I'm stirring you up for the morning. Come on, say, I'm happy.
I'm happy.
All right, good. So now this is what you're going to do. You're going to find your partner, and we're going to dance to this thing. Let's go. Let's go. Put your hands together, everybody. Let's go. Put your hands together, everybody. know it's early morning time.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine is here, now you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go this way. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Hey, because I'm happy. Come along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Hey, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. The comeback news talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold it back. I should probably warn you I'll be just fine. You're a bitch to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Come along if you feel like a room without a roof. Come along if you feel happiness is the truth. Come along if you know what happiness means to you. Come along if you feel that's what you want to do. Ain't nothing you been gone.
Somebody say, hey. It's a good morning. Are you happy? Do you feel good? All right, we were supposed to be through, but we ain't through. They want us to come back. Y'all want one more? Come back up here with my alumni. We're just gonna do it. We had an extra one just in case, but I didn't know we were gonna have to have it. But we're gonna do a little Stevie Wonder for you. Some of y'all know. This is one of my alumni. I want you to know this group right here, drug-free, gang-free, academically inclined. They're the kind of young people you want. How many kids do we have that's wanting to be into science? They want to be in science. Look at the potential scientists that y'all have on this Juneteenth. Look at these African-American scientists. I'm calling it out before they even get there. All right, so we're here to celebrate with you. All right, come on, we're gonna play that, just go on and play the song. Just go. Y'all gonna act like y'all. We're gonna start the party early in the morning.
She's revolving as the rosebuds know the bloom in early May. Just as all is born is new, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always. As now can reveal the meaning of tomorrow, but in passing we'll grow older every day. Just as hate no love to kill, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always.
Until the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky.
Always.
Until the ocean covers every mountain high.
Always.
Until the dolphins rise and parents live at sea.
Always.
Until we dream of life and life becomes a dream.
Did you know that true love lasts for nothing? Her acceptance is the way to pay. Did you know that life is giving love a guarantee to last through forever and another day? Just as time to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change. Just as all is born is new, you know what I say is true, that I'll be loving you always. As today I know I'm living, but tomorrow could make me the past, but that I was sincere. For I know these be my mind, the love of me I left behind. I'll be loving you always.
Day is night and night becomes the day.
Always.
Until the trees and seas just up and fly away.
Until
The day that daytime is for. Until the day that is the day that
Now somebody need to grab a partner. Just grab a partner.
the earth starts turning right to Until the earth just for the sun and life
love you always.
Mother Nature says,
Always.
the day that you are me and
Y'all need to just act like y'all excited. We're gonna bring the whole choir out. Grab them by the hand. Let's go. One, let's go.
until the trees and seas just up and fly away. Until the day that is the day that is the day that
more time. Say always. Come on.
Always love you.
Have a great conference. We love you. Thank you for what you do for us. Soul Children of Chicago. Take a bow. Let's go. Blessings to you.
Thank you to the Soul Children of Chicago for that soul-stirring performance. Now, please welcome to the stage Deneen Gillespie, Assistant Vice President of External Relations and Communications for the University of Illinois System.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. What an incredible show. Am I right? Can we give it up for the Soul Children of Chicago again? They were amazing. Oh my gosh. Well, it is such an honor to be here with all of you today for this very special Juneteenth plenary. It's a moment for us to celebrate, to reflect, and engage in powerful dialogue. Juneteenth reminds us of how far we've all come and how much further we have to go to ensure freedom, dignity, and opportunity for all. And there's no better place to reflect on this than my hometown of Chicago, a city shaped by generations of Black leaders, thinkers, trailblazers like Ida B. Wells and Harold Washington, those who challenged injustice and they sparked change. So today's program, it builds on that legacy. And the University of Illinois is committed to building on that legacy by advancing access, equity, and opportunity, opening doors for all people from all backgrounds so everyone can thrive. So again, we're so grateful to have you here with us. And before we begin, I want to highlight a few notes to help guide you through your day. So you can access live translation services directly through the app and by scanning the QR code on the screen. And for a comprehensive overview of the day, make sure that you review the WUVA app. And don't forget to share your thoughts via QR code. Your words inspire the live artwork right outside our doors, reflecting the themes of SRI 2025. And please, post on social media. We love the engagement. Don't forget to use hashtag SRI 2025 and help amplify your voice in this important global conversation. So now it is my utmost pleasure to introduce someone whose leadership continues to elevate both our university and the communities we serve. I'd like to welcome Chancellor Mari Lynn Miranda to the stage. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. It's such a delight to be here with all of you. I actually start every single day singing and dancing, and I'm glad you all got the chance to do it. I wish I had that choir with me every morning as I start my day singing and dancing, but what a joyful, wonderful way for all of us to lead into this plenary session. It's absolutely an honor to be here with you today as we reflect on Juneteenth, a day that reminds us of the unfinished work of justice and the power of community in driving lasting change. This year's Sustainability Research and Innovation Conference marks a milestone. It's the first time the Global SRI Forum is being held in the United States, and I couldn't agree more with Deneen in saying that we couldn't imagine a more fitting place than Chicago to host it. We're Chicagoans, we're a little biased, but really, it's such a wonderful city. Chicago is a city that takes climate action very seriously, a place where innovation meets activism, where sustainability efforts are rooted in equity, and where community voices help shape policy. UIC's mission, the University of Illinois Chicago, where I serve as chancellor, our mission is to provide the broadest access to the highest levels of educational research and clinical excellence. We are very proud to be engaged in justice efforts across Chicago and indeed around the world. And my entire scholarly work and community engaged work over the course of my career dates all the way back, is in environmental justice and dates all the way back to the start of the environmental justice movement in the United States in Warren County, North Carolina, where I was living when that happened. So I've oftentimes said that climate change is one of the great existential threats we face today, but we know that its effects are not felt equally. That's why UIC's approach is both innovative and inclusive. We are addressing concerns like emissions, as well as the real-world effects of environmental injustice and systemic disparities that magnify these impacts. Through partnerships like Crocus, which you may have had an opportunity to experience yesterday during a field trip, that's a partnership with Argonne National Laboratory, we're helping communities by deploying advanced sensor networks and mobile labs across Chicago to study the city's changing climate at street, neighborhood, and regional levels. Through our new Center for Climate and Health Equity, we're advancing research that confronts pollution, heat, and flooding in vulnerable neighborhoods. We're also a leader in ensuring equitable and sustainable water resources while generating robust economic growth for our home, city, and region. Our freshwater lab, for example, is tackling Great Lakes water challenges. One innovation is a dual pipeline system, treated drinking water for households and recycled water for industry, balancing community needs with much needed economic growth. We're also participating in the Great Lakes Renew Consortium, which includes $160 million in funding from the National Science Foundation. It's a Great Lakes region-wide consortium, and over 20 UIC researchers and scientists are developing innovative technologies and novel approaches for water treatment, contamination removal, and resource recovery. We also know that it's important to lead by example. UIC's climate commitment goes beyond carbon neutrality. It includes zero waste, net zero water, biodiversity, and sustainable construction standards. On our biodiversity, I've already said that I would be happy to take all of these digitalis plants home with me, to plant them on UIC's campus to make sure that this beautiful garden continues in perpetuity. They are perennials, or biennials at the very least. So we're very proud to be, that was a joke, apparently it wasn't landing, but we're very proud to be a campus where pollinator-friendly landscapes, rainwater capture systems, and LEED certified buildings reflect our values. So it's deeply inspiring that SRI has convened so many passionate activists, scientists, artists, scholars, advisors, and social justice champions for this week's events. I'm especially excited about today's conversation. Let me offer short introductions of our panelists who will join us on stage as I'm introducing them. First, Tonika Johnson is a Chicago-based social justice artist known for, among many things, the Folded Map Project, a powerful and creative exploration of urban segregation that uses visual storytelling to expose geographic and racial inequities. Jose Lopez is a respected educator, community leader, and longtime activist within Chicago's Puerto Rican community. He brings unique insights into urban resilience, grassroots organizing, and inclusive approaches to climate action. And Crystal Sims serves as Vice President of Clean Energy Transition, Economic Community, and Business Development at Ameren, Illinois. She leads transformative efforts in energy efficiency and economic development, always with a focus on creating lasting impact and uplifting diverse communities across the state. Rooted in lived experiences, this session highlights emerging solutions. We're not going to just describe problems, we are going to talk about solutions to problems, solutions in environmental justice, including advances in energy efficiency, economic development, clean energy, and climate resilience. We'll examine how communities are navigating today's challenges and seizing opportunities to create lasting transformative change, change that gives reasons for us to be hopeful and optimistic and joyful, as the session title calls us to, about our collective future. So let's go. Okay, well, welcome to the stage. I hope you enjoyed the music and you also got your own walk-up music, just like you were an MLB baseball star. So I'm going to start with just a little bit of each of your histories. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the work. Many of us have personal stories about what drew us to environmental justice. Tell us how you got involved in the work, and Tonika, we'll start with you.
Well, how I got involved in the work, I think it should, I should help you all understand the project that started it all, my entryway into climate justice and really understanding that sustainability is a social justice issue. So the project that I created is called Folded Map. And to give you an example of the kind of art that I do, it's very participatory. I am going to demonstrate that today. I would love for all of you all to raise your hand if you have been told or have heard that the south side of Chicago is dangerous. Raise your hand. Hi. Everyone look around. That's a lot of people. That's how inequity shows up in our lives today. When we try to understand redlining, this is another form of it. And so to help people understand how all of that history is with us, I created a project called Folded Map. And this picture that you see is that project. I literally folded Chicago's map because we are racially and economically segregated, and brought these two residents together. And I call them map twins. And I created several map twins. And they live in racially and economically different neighborhoods, but they live on the same street, 15 miles apart. And I had them meet each other, and I asked them several questions, including this video that will show you a very specific question that I asked all of the map twins.
So it's amazing how much Chicago has shifted just in the last couple of years. And when I bought my house 7 years ago, I feel like there was still, Rogers Park was still somewhat affordable in comparison to a lot of Chicago neighborhoods. So I knew I wanted something under $400,000 was what I was looking for. Yeah. I know you're like, well, hold on a second.
And Carmen, you said this building has been in your family, so can you talk about kind of the purchase history? Do you know how much it cost at the time?
No, but I believe it probably was $30,000, you know, but in '74 that was a lot of money, but 30,000, and I think it's probably worth a lot more than that now, but never know.
So the reason I wanted to show that video is because Carmen's home being worth $90,000 in 2020, when it's been in her family for decades, is an example of how infrastructure, aging infrastructure, is a part of repair, and how it is the legacy of all of these historic harms. And so a lot of my projects have taken me down the road of understanding that a lot of Black residents who are homeowners are suffering from deferred maintenance and not being able to repair their homes. And when you can't repair your homes, unfortunately, if you have a leaky roof, plumbing issues, electrical issues, you cannot prepare your home to be energy efficient.
Okay.
And so a lot of, there's programs that provide free energy efficiency programs to homeowners in Chicago, but you cannot access that if you have a leaky roof, if you have electrical issues. So that let me know that sustainability is also a social justice issue.
Okay, great. Jose, tell us a little bit how you got involved in
Well,
environmental.
I was born in a little town in the northwest side of Puerto Rico, in a rural area. I grew up in literally what people would imagine would be a paradise, because it was always green, it was filled with water, lush vegetation. We were able to listen every night to the coquí. We could obviously know, exactly, we could obviously get to know the amazing natural phenomena of Puerto Rico right there in our batey, in our front yard. You threw a seed and it grew. In 1959, my family, like millions of other Puerto Ricans, close to 2 million Puerto Ricans from 1946 to 1966, made this incredible journey to the United States. And we came from this rural area to obviously a ghetto in Chicago, an area that had been left literally for Puerto Ricans and African Americans to inhabit, the area of the greater Humboldt Park community. And when I came there, what I saw was totally different. We were living in a world of marginalization, in a world of exclusion, in a world obviously empty of any natural, not even trees, vaulted sidewalks that were completely destroyed. And so that made me think that I had a responsibility, and that is, how am I going to dedicate my life to become a real agent of change that is able to transform that community into a vibrant, sustainable, ecologically friendly community. Today, if you visit the area in Humboldt Park, particularly the area we call Paseo Boricua, almost a half-mile long area between the world's largest steel flags, Puerto Rican flags, we have created a beautiful space that speaks to something that I want all of you to think about, and that is collective aesthetics. When we think about people going to museums, it's still an individual act that people choose. And much of what we do in arts and culture is to get ourselves involved in the world of individual experiences. When you walk down Division Street in the Strip, you can sense that you're in a different world. You can see murals all over you. You can see trees. You can see plants. You can literally be in a place that speaks to the possibility of how we can transform a dilapidated urban area into a meaningful, ecologically friendly and sustainable community.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I did a lot of work on sustainable energy in Puerto Rico, Jose, and I love the sound of the coquille frog. I know
Absolutely.
some people it keeps them up, and for me it's like a lullaby.
It puts you to sleep.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. Crystal, tell us how you got involved in environmental justice work.
Sure. Good morning, and I'm really delighted to be here, especially on Juneteenth, to be able to be a part of this wonderful conversation. So really, I frame my introduction to environmental justice in reference to 3 key, I would say, shifts in my life, built on one foundational experience. And that foundational experience is that when I was a young girl, I would say around 6 years old, my mother and father divorced, separated, as many families do, that happens. And when my mom went to move into her first apartment as a single mother of 4 young children, she could not have the natural gas service connected because there was a past due gas bill from the marital home that wasn't resolved through the divorce. So paperwork, all that stuff needs to happen. But long story short, we lived in that apartment for several months, from the summertime until around November, before my mom saved up enough money to have the natural gas connected. So we did all the things that many people still do today in terms of trying to heat water that you need to shower, or really bathe, to cook and all those things. And really, that was an experience that I didn't know would lead me to the work and the passion that I have for the work that I do now. So that's foundational. The 3 shifting points came the first time, so I went to college, decided I wanted to go to law school, and I was able to participate in an internship program that was offered by the Environmental Protection Agency. And it just so happened that as a part of that program, I was slotted to work in the Environmental Justice Department at the EPA. So that was really my first exposure to really the practice of environmental justice, learning about the theory, learning about what it meant. And I did things that interns did. We learned about lead-based paint. We went out to community centers and taught children about how to recognize it, how to stay away from it, and all those things. But it really sparked an interest and curiosity for me as to how I could expand on this knowledge and really learn more about how to help communities when it was related to environmental justice. Fast forward about 5 years, I graduated law school, got my first job working for the sewer district in St. Louis. I worked there for about 7 years, and then I went on to work for Ameren, Illinois, which is the local utility company in St. Louis. So second transformational or shift for me happened, it just so happened that I started that job a week after Michael Brown was murdered in St. Louis, Missouri, right in the epicenter of the unrest. And we were temporarily placed in an office building downtown. So a lot of the unrest happened right outside of the building I was sitting in. So I'm trying to learn this new role as a corporate lawyer. Wow, my heart was pouring out for my community that was marching down the street for justice, for basic rights. And that was really a shift when I decided that I would do this work because I needed to. I needed to provide for myself, but I would do it in a way that was led from my heart. So the third shift came as I did that. I got really involved with our energy efficiency program in Ameren, Illinois, and led an effort to advocate for approval of our market development initiative as a part of our energy efficiency program, which I'll talk more about later. But it really is a community-based approach to energy efficiency, so that we can address things like what Tonika mentioned. We call it removing barriers for the energy efficiency programs to start fixing roofs, fixing old wiring. But when we had that program approved, this shift happened that our leadership at the company looked around and said, okay, we have to do this, now who can do it? And I slowly rose my hand and said, I think I can do it. So at that point, I shifted from being a corporate lawyer to working in the business role, leading our energy efficiency work, and where I get to do what is now my personal mantra, which is to imagine, help, and grow. Imagine new things, help people, and grow in all different ways personally, grow the business, and grow for our communities.
Yeah. So Crystal, in our preparation for this panel, we were going over some histories, and it turns out we've navigated through a lot of different similar organizations, including the EJ office at the EPA, and my research group is here somewhere. I can't see anywhere out there. They're here somewhere. I think the proudest moment for our research group was when EPA started their Environmental Justice Awards. Our research group won the first Environmental Justice Achievement Award from the EPA. That signal from the EPA that justice questions were important, and by establishing all of that was so important. So tell us a little bit. I'm going to stick with you, Crystal, and then work my way back down this way. You've started talking a little bit about what you're working on currently. So go a little bit deeper on what you're doing currently, and to reinforce today's theme of hope and of joy, where do you find elements of joy in this work that you're doing right now?
Sure. So currently I have a really long title. I'm leading a lot of the work that really is transforming the way the utility company shows up in the climate transformation, clean energy transition. So I lead our energy efficiency work, which is making buildings more comfortable, more efficient, both residential, commercial. I lead our economic development work, which is really about helping grow community prosperity, helping attract new businesses to our service area and to the state of Illinois. And I lead our electrification work, which is about helping advance the adoption of electric vehicles. I also lead our clean energy policy work, which is about finding ways to advocate for things like battery storage, virtual power plants, a lot of the capabilities that a utility system, the grid, needs to have in place in order for the clean energy transition to actually be successful. One of my passion projects is our market development initiative, which I mentioned earlier, which focuses on 3 goals, which is to make sure that communities are involved and not left behind in the work that we do, to ensure that we are advancing diversity and inclusion within the workforce in the work that we do, not just with our company, but with the different vendors and businesses that participate, and then also making sure that we are growing wealth with those local and diverse businesses too. And so with those 3 focus areas of the Market Development Initiative, one of the places that we find joy is through the stories of the people that we work with and that we're able to help. And I'll tell two quick stories. One is working through a community organization in Alton, Illinois called Senior Services Plus. That community organization found that one of their participants in their programs stopped showing up. He stopped showing up to bingo, he stopped showing up to the community activities. And when they checked in with one of his family members, his daughter, she let them know that he was having a hard time at home shaving, that the lighting in his bathroom was poor and he was cutting himself. And so he had just really stopped coming out. He stopped pulling himself together for that. Through our program, that organization went out and changed out all the lighting in his home, especially in the bathroom, upgraded it to brighter lighting, and he just sprouted like the flower that Jose mentioned, and started coming back out. So with that, it really helped reinforce for our program and for our folks who work on that program that this isn't just about light bulbs, that we are helping bring him back to his people and helping improve his life. Second story I'll tell is that—
It's all about how we all need light in our lives.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
The second story I'll tell is that we had a project where we were going out as a utility company. We always do this for communications purposes, to get some photos and video of some of our projects that we had worked on with community organizations. And we decided we wanted to find a local photographer to engage for this work. And we did find a young Black photographer in our service area who we partnered with to do the work. And as he went out with us through that day, by the end of the day, he turned to our team and said, "I want to be a part of this campaign." And this is why I'm so proud, and this is where the joy comes for me, is that we've built a program where our team immediately said yes.
Good.
You know, and working in corporate America, I know there's so many times when people wouldn't even have the courage to say, "Can I be a part of this?" And then even so, the decision makers weigh a lot of different risks and things, and they may stay away from it. But I'm so proud that we say yes. Since then, we've engaged in a number of projects with him. He's grown his business. He's got consistent work with his local utility company. And another point of joy is that his mom reached out to say that this work that he does has changed the way he shows up in the world. And that's joy for me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Jose, tell us about your current work and what gives you hope and joy.
A few years ago, actually, I don't remember very well, but I read a book written by an amazing African-American scholar, Dr. Mindy Thompson Fulilove. It's entitled Root Shock. And her thesis is that the Black community in the United States, in terms of cultural production, is in a state of root shock. Your body goes into shock in order to protect its vital organs. Her thesis is that the Black community in the United States is in a state of root shock because of the practice of urban and the politics of urban renewal and gentrification. And what frames much of this is that you declare an area like the South Side a blighted area. So all you have to do is bulldoze that area. When you do that, what do? You're not just bulldozing dilapidated buildings, you're bulldozing an entire community. The Black community in the United States, the greatest moments of cultural production is everywhere the development of the Black metropolis during, obviously, the Great Migration. So when we think about this and we think of the importance of community, of culture, that made me think that we needed to do something. We were facing in the greater Humboldt Park community the threat, as many communities are, of historical disinvestment and gentrification. And by the way, gentrification is literally spatial deconcentration of populations. So what we came up with, we came together, we convened a summit, and we actually brought Dr. Mindy Thompson Fulilove to address this summit. Wow. And we spent a whole day, what should we be doing? And we articulated a concept which has now become policy in the state of Illinois, the development of cultural designated districts. Every state legislature can actually create cultural designated district. Like they could create economic development district, they could create historical district. And we came to the idea, why not a cultural district? And so we literally work with our state senators and our state representative, and we ultimately, this passed the state legislature several years ago unanimously. Because I think we hit onto something, and that was, how do you value culture as an enterprise? And so we came up with this idea. We ultimately turned it into law. In the state of Illinois right now, there are 10 cultural designated districts, including Chinatown. By the way, a few days after the governor signed this bill, one of the leaders of Chinatown came up to me and said, in a radio program, she said, Jose, I would be remiss if I didn't express to you our community's gratefulness for what you have done to save our Chinatown. If you go across the United States, all Chinatowns are disappearing. So, she says, you have ensured the vitality and growth of our Chinatown. Bronzeville was now declared a cultural designated district. La Villita was declared a cultural designated district. We were obviously declared a Puerto Rico town that we call Barrio Boriquén now as a cultural designated district. And that means that we are addressing the 4 pillars, I believe, of what makes a good, vibrant community. Economic development, housing, affordable housing, education, and health and wellness. All of that wrapped around culture. I want to tell you that I have come to the conclusion that Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of needs is a lie, and it shouldn't be followed, because in actual fact, as human beings, we should act responsibly upon our environment to transform that environment and to literally make it serve us. And that's what culture is. Culture is in the buildings we built to shelter us. Culture is in the clothing we wear. Culture is in the food we eat, in the way we comb our hair. Everything is culture, and it's art. And it's really a demonstration of that idea of collective aesthetics that I spoke to you about, but more importantly, that we think about the city in the context of the correlation between, obviously, nature and what we're doing in the city, and that we must infuse the idea of greenery, of ultimately, I'll talk a little bit more about the idea of an urban agriculture based on the development of greenhouses. So one of our goals, we have a 2-mile-long strip along Division Street. All the buildings there are roofed, have flat roofs. Our goal is to build on every rooftop a greenhouse. And that could speak to the very idea of global warming and climate change, because most of the world's carbon footprint is caused by agricultural production, by the transportation of those products. But we would also be addressing a very important need, which came out very clearly during COVID, and that was food justice. Imagine that we can produce our own food, culturally relevant food, and obviously nutritious food right on top of our house 365 days a year. And by the way, for those of you who don't believe that's possible, visit the conservatory, the Garfield Conservatory, and you'll see bananas growing there, cacao growing there. They could do it there. We could do it throughout the city. But more importantly, we want to rethink the way we do education. One of the major problems facing our public school system is that no school in the United States, and I would love to see one, has an aligned curriculum. What makes the best schools? What makes Montessori schools so great? An aligned curriculum. That means from the very early age all the way to college and beyond, you're following some very a good methodology of critical thinking, and it's evolving and developing. So imagine if we could create in our schools an educational aligned curriculum that addresses obviously our needs and that is able to use algorithms to create spaces for food production that would minimize the amount of soil and the amount of things that we need and maximize production. That's what gives me hope, and that's what I'm looking towards the future.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
We just need to work on your energy level. No, you're so fantastic. You know, what I really love about your remarks, Jose, is that there's a very clear description of the United States as a place where individualism reigns supreme. And I think what you're doing is calling us to remember that we actually achieve more when we act collectively,
Exactly.
when we remember we're part of a community, when we remember our culture. Yeah. So how about you? What gives you joy and hope in the work that you do, my friend?
I'll give a couple of examples, but I think it's very clear to everyone that Mr. Jose and Crystal have given, and myself have given examples of how we were brought to this work, and it always includes home. And my work is about home, helping people understand how they got to their home, the challenges that they face to their home, but more importantly, how to help heal your home and where you're at. And so my Folded Map project, it helped visualize very easy segregation, but one of the things that gave me hope and that I wanted to transfer to everyone else was that it also provided a solution using that actual divide to bring us together, folding the map, bringing us together, and showing people what those conversations look like. And I'm proud to say that out of the many map twins that I created, several of them have, stayed in touch with each other. I did not ask people to become best friends, to become, close neighbors and move next to each other, but through Folded Map, a lot of those people have stayed in touch, especially Carmen and Bridget, who you saw. They keep in touch today. So that's something that gives me hope, that I want to be able to remind people of, that you cannot have sustainability without collaboration, and disinvestment and inequity continues to divide us, and segregation actually prevents us from coming together, from creating solutions together. And so since my projects are about home, I have been introduced to a lot of Black homeowners who are struggling to, repair their homes, help them become energy efficient. And through my project with an amazing nonprofit organization called Chicago Bungalow Association, who is a federal delegate agency that does energy efficiency upgrades, we had the shared understanding that we wanted to solve the barriers that Black homeowners face in accessing free energy efficiency upgrades, which was becoming more and more apparent to me, regardless of what project that I did. I'm like, it's always coming back to home, and people not being able to afford the maintenance of it, and how that is a barrier to making them energy efficient. So we came together and created a project called Unblocked Inglewood, and as an artist, it is just so exciting and hopeful to be able to create projects that help people understand these historic issues, but also provide a template of a solution. And that's what Unblocked Inglewood is. It is us helping Black homeowners on one specific block that was connected to a project of mine called Inequity for Sale, where I put land markers in front of homes that were unfortunately legally stolen from Black homeowners. And so I have a land marker on this one block, and that introduced me to a whole block of Black homeowners that are age 70 plus, okay? It's a very special block, and I call them like all my grandparents, okay? And, they shared with me that they were suffering with, bills and not being able to repair their roofs. And I was like, okay, I gotta help them. I can't just create a project that talks about the issue and meet these amazing people who truly have been the engine of our neighborhood because they are homeowners. And so I partnered with Chicago Bungalow Association so that we can help them repair their actual homes and receive energy efficiency upgrades. So I was able to convince, some city officials that offered artist grant.
No, I imagine
for
you're quite
public art.
convincing.
Oh, well, I just stated the fact that, when you have a home that's beautiful, it is public art. So why not give me public art dollars to do these home repairs? So we did that. And on this block that has now 22 homes, it also has 22 vacant lots, we've been able to help those homeowners. 12 of them get repairs. We're working on getting the rest of those done this year and next year. And we've also been able to help those residents acquire the vacant lots that are now green spaces so that they can become owners because they were city owned. So that project, seeing one of the residents, Mr. Walls, who's 70 years old, whose mother, was unfortunately taken advantage of through predatory housing practices in the 50s. He lives on that block, and when we repaired his roof, gave him new siding, and helped him buy the vacant lot next door to his house, oh my gosh, how happy he was just gave me so much hope. And to be able to know that this project will provide amazing experts like you all with information that can move the solutions that you all come up with forward, that gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, I love your emphasis in everything people were saying. There's this emphasis on home, as you point out, and I oftentimes say if everything's going well at home, then no matter how crazy work is, life is good. Yeah. No matter how good things are at work, if things aren't right at home, then life isn't good, right? So this sort of deep rooting in individual homes, but also the neighborhoods that are our homes, the community that exists in our neighborhoods that are our homes. So all of that is so important, and it's really a deep theme in sustainability as well, because we don't sustain that good feeling of home if we are not doing it as a full community. So I had specific questions for each of you, but you have in your remarks kind of gotten into them. So I'm gonna move on to talking a little bit about how our work is connected to global efforts. So this conference brings together participants from over 60 countries, highlighting the global nature of climate solutions and environmental justice. So talk a little bit about how your work aligns with international efforts to advance climate justice, sustainability, and collaboration. And Jose, maybe we'll start with you.
Thank you. I would say that the idea of a cultural designated district speaks to the very idea of the future of the world. 80% of the world's population by the end of the century will live in urban areas. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of city do we want? As someone who has studied history, I can tell you that every city in the world has been built for the elites. If you look at ancient Athens or ancient Rome or ancient Tenochtitlan, you will see it. If you look at the medieval high cities like Venice or Milan, you will see that they follow the script of the city of God of St. Augustine, in which in the city only Christians could live. And that's how we got the notion of ghettos, because everywhere in medieval Europe, Jewish people would have to live outside of the city. If you went and visited the cities of Ghent or Antwerp and the merchant cities, who lived in those cities? The merchants, the very wealthy. If you went to Liverpool later on or to Manchester, it was obviously the industrial elite. And we're in the 21st century, and we're looking at the fact that we live in the informatic city. And what we've done is we've created the Silicon Valley as our model of creating urban spaces. And so every city is being transformed in the informatics age to serve elites and for the elites to live there. What a stupid idea. In the 21st century, we should be asking ourselves, what kind of city do we want? And we should envision a city that is able to bring nature and our built out spaces together. Singapore is a very good example of that. And I really would invite people to study a little bit about Singapore. But the idea is that you can bring nature and the city together. But more importantly, is that every city in the world is made up everywhere of different cultures, of different people. And so, what we want to do with the cultural designated districts in Chicago is to create the world in the city and to literally inform everyone that you should become a world traveler and not a tourist. When you become a tourist, you want to replicate everything that you have here. So you go to Bangkok and you stay at the Marriott or the Sheraton or one of these places, and you have not experienced 7,000 years of Thai history. And that is a problem. A world traveler travels with humility, with a sense of wonderment, a sense of joy, a sense of knowing the people, the culture, the language. And so why don't we do that in every city in the world? Why don't we envision the world in the city? This is precisely what the work that we're trying to do in creating these cultural designated districts really speaks to, the world in the city.
Okay, thank you. So Crystal, tell us a little bit about how you feel your work connects to global efforts.
Sure. So I would say that when it comes to decarbonization, that is a global effort that has to take place all around the world. But the equity part of it really needs to start locally. I think that I know that our market development initiative is something that can be applied in any community by any utility or any entity across the globe. And so one of the things we're really trying to do is to make sure that we can neatly package that so that other people can understand what it is and understand how to put it in place. Some of the metrics that we've measured, when we started our market development initiative, we were spending around $750,000 annually with diverse vendors. Now, annually, we spend around $40 million with diverse and local vendors through our program. So it's about, thank you, it's about being intentional and measuring and holding teams and partners accountable for delivering outcomes like that. I also say that when it comes to decarbonization, one of the facts that really sticks out in my mind from some of the work that we've done is that when we start to reach our climate targets in 2045, 2050 timeframe, 60% of the energy that will be used then will be used by industries that do not exist today. And to me, that shows that this feeling that we feel of discomfort, of movement, is the feeling of transformation. We are living in it, we are building it, some of us are implementing it. And so recently there was an announcement of a project in our area, in the East St. Louis area, for a facility that's going to manufacture sustainable aviation fuel. And so that will bring about significant decarbonization benefits for climate. But what we're doing is saying, okay, how will this bring benefits to this local community? How will people be trained? How will jobs be deployed? How will we make sure that there isn't a lot of deprivation for the community, but a lot of benefits going to the community at the same time? So really focusing on local, but also being able to tell that story and being able to transplant our work in different places too.
Such an important set of points, Crystal. You know, I do think we all sort of feel that we're on the precipice of just incredible transformational change, whether, you know, can you go a day without talking about artificial intelligence? here in Chicago, can you go a day without talking about the quantum revolution, given the IQMP on the south side of Chicago? And the thing that we need to make sure, so we're anticipating this great transition, but the thing we need to make sure is that, as Jose encourages us, we bring along all of our communities in that transformation, that Black and brown communities don't get left behind, that we are thinking about, we are open to transformation, but we're thinking about transformation in a way that is different than it has historically been thought about, which has been about whoever figures out how to win from this wins from it, as opposed to how do we create a new world with all of this transformative technology where everybody wins in this process. So,
Absolutely, yes.
So tell us a little bit about how your folded map effort, so you know I love maps. That's right. But and we've done just a little tiny bit of work together, which gave me an opportunity to get good insights into your work. And when we were formulating this global question, I thought, oh, you're doing that 15 miles apart. I just wonder if you ever have thought about like the global folded map or any other ways that you think about your work and how it gets extended globally.
Yeah, so Folded Map was a project that debuted in 2018. Since then, I've created several projects, and one of my artistic residencies allowed me to spend 2 months in Paris, France, talking to Black French people, and it was during a time where they had their uprisings because an Algerian boy was shot. And so while I was there, I was able to talk to the Algerian and the Black community. And I'm saying Black, but understand they don't have this language. And they oftentimes, the marginalized communities in France, look to the United States, the Black and brown populations, to get language to help their struggle, because they have not had a civil rights movement. And so I was able to talk to a lot of those people during a time where they were struggling with something that sadly the United States and Chicago has dealt with, you know. And in talking to them, I was able to photograph them, record their stories, and create a project that shared that with people who follow my work. And so when we are talking about all of these large systemic issues and also having a green future is a global issue, it's really important to have points where we can remind each other that we are each other. We have to learn how to see ourselves in each other. And the way that we can do that, and my offering to help us do that, are through projects that remind us we're not data points. All of this information is talking about each one of us. And so that project that I did, talking to the Black French people and bringing it back to Chicago to be shown as an exhibit at the Chicago Cultural Center, is my way of helping us remember that we're all connected. Even through these horrible issues that we're facing, it unites us. And to not look at it as a deficit. And the only way that we can do that is if we learn how to talk to each other, understand culture of each other, because sustainability is about collaboration and co-creation. But unfortunately, we haven't had good practice at that. And so I feel like my work is a good template to help remind us, to guide us in how to connect to each other. And that's really at the heart of Folded Map. That's at the heart of my other projects in Unblocked Inglewood, is showing people how to heal. And, taking the risks to, get public art dollars to do home repairs, to create energy efficiency homes. That's like a crazy idea, but we need to know that it can be done. And so that's what I want my work to be able to do, to remind us that we're all globally connected, even through this issue.
That's great. That's great. So at this point, I'm supposed to turn to the iPad for questions. There are no questions here, so if you have questions, please forward them to us. But I can ask questions all day long to this amazing panel of people we have up here. So I want to ask a question about headwinds and tailwinds. So I've been passionate about environmental justice work since the 80s, since we coined the term environmental racism in the United States. And over the years, I've seen both tailwinds and headwinds. The time when we were mutually working with the EJ office and EPA that were great tailwinds for the kind of work that we were doing. One might argue right now we're facing a lot of headwinds on environmental justice work. So I know you've all been involved in this work for a long time. How do you think about building momentum when things are moving forward and staying grounded and facing the challenges and still moving forward? That when the challenges sort of arise, when you're heading straight into those headwinds. So where does your resiliency, where does your energy to move forward during the tailwinds, and how do you think about leveraging that, and where do you get your energy when you're facing the headwinds?
Oh, yeah, I'll just hop in because the projects that I do are rooted in history. I think all of us here are nerds, okay? Nerds unite. And I love what I learned from history, and even you just mentioning, the term environmental justice, that comes from Black communities, Chicago. Miss Hazel Johnson here in Altgale Gardens, where my father is from. She was the mother of environmental justice, but a lot of people don't know that. But if you know about her and know about her stories, what she went through to bring attention to environmental justice, and how her living in a ghetto, a disinvested neighborhood in Chicago, brought her to that realization of what she wanted to do and pursue, it will help you see solutions. It will help you identify things that will inspire you to move forward. And this is why I always uplift history, because it gives me so much comfort to know that nothing new is under the sun, even problems. And so if we understand how problems start and the history behind it, then we can identify solutions. And I think that that is just something that should be able to give us hope. And it is also where I go to when I feel challenged, to know, this is not a new problem, okay? This is not a new problem. We have references, we have each other. We can come together, we can, dig through some books, we can research, but to know that nothing new is under the sun and we can get through it. So that is also kind of what I lean to, and I think that is what we all should do, because a lot of people don't necessarily, haven't been taught our vast history of each other's cultures, and there's so many answers and solutions in each of our cultures, and so that's what I lean on.
Okay. So all I had to do was say, send your questions in.
They just
and
needed
they came
a minute
pouring
to think.
So we'll turn to those questions now, but your point about how, especially if you've been in this work for a long time, even in the course of our lifetimes, much less the history of these lands here, that there have been ups and downs, et cetera, and there's that very famous quote from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King about how the arc of the universe, the moral arc of the universe, bends towards justice. The thing about that arc bending towards justice is we all have to reach up and pull that arc down. That's what our work is, right? And sometimes pulling that arc down is harder, and sometimes it's easier, but you always have to, that's why strength training is so important, people.
Yes.
That we always have to be doing that. So I'm going to go to one of the questions from the audience. As an international participant from Mexico, I'm interested in learning how Chicago is addressing gentrification from a sustainability perspective. What strategies have successfully balanced urban development with the preservation of cultural and social diversity? And how could these lessons be applied in similar contexts? I feel like that question was written for you, Jose.
Well, I want to take a controversial definition of gentrification. I believe that modern history, what we call modernity, for the past 500 years or so, has been upheld and defined in many ways by the process of spatial deconcentration. The very idea of the enslavement of African people was a process of spatially deconcentrating people from their native lands and brought here to literally produce the wealth in this continent. The removal of Native Americans, and if we go into the Pacific, the removal of indigenous people in the Pacific region, and even in Asia, we're looking at a worldwide phenomena of spatial deconcentration. What's happening in our cities everywhere is precisely that. And we've got to look at how important it is to be able to address the existing communities who have made and defined those areas, because it becomes critical space and place for them, and literally make that the centerpiece of urban development. We cannot just think about how we make cities. Literally, we're making cities into these homogenized condos and places that aesthetically are not very pleasing. We're creating spaces that are not welcoming. We've got to think about that as human beings, and we've got to reorganize our thoughts. And in many ways, this really speaks to the greater problem that I think the modern world and even civilization has placed on us. And that is, what do we lose when we came to the stage of civilization? And what do we gain? And what we lost everywhere in the world with civilization was precisely the idea that there has to be a connection between the earth, our environment, and our human existence. Our indigenous people everywhere had an amazing idea of that concept of the connection of nature and the world about us and what we were trying to do. And if we act responsibly, I tell my students, education involves three things: understanding the world about us, acting responsibly upon that world, and most importantly, transforming that world. But transforming that world in consonance with nature. I think that's, for me,
That's great.
very
That's
important.
great. Carla, wherever you are, thank you for that question. The next question comes to us from Madeline, and I'm going to ask both Crystal and Tonika to answer it. What ways can students be a part of the climate justice revolution? You were a student who joined the climate justice
Yes.
and joined the climate justice. What are the ways now?
Absolutely. I think lending your voice, any talents that you have, getting involved. There's so many different organizations that are, especially in Illinois. So our utility is in the southern part of Illinois, so we're not in Chicago. We operate in central and southern Illinois. But when in 2021, when the legislature in Illinois passed the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, called CEJA, it unlocked a bunch of different funding sources for these CEJA hubs, which are meant to help train and employ people in the clean energy transformation industry. And so you can work in the, I go to careers, I guess I'm noticing that. But you can operate in this space doing almost anything. You can be the photographer, you could be an accountant, you could be an engineer, you can be an attorney, you could be an executive, you could be a community leader, a community organizer. Just about anything that you have a passion for, there's a place for that in the clean energy transition. So I would suggest that you just do a little bit of research to figure out who in your community is actively seeking engagement from people. Don't worry about the fact that you're a student or how young you are. Everyone is needed. I often say the people who who will operate the small modular nuclear facilities when they actually get online in 30 years are in preschool right now. Those are the people who will be clocking in on day one potentially, and some people from their communities. You can reach out to me directly, AmerinIllinois.com, and in the program or in the app, you can contact me. I would be happy to try to help anyone connect if it's in our area, for sure.
All right, all right. I'm going to be sending a whole bunch of UIC students to you. That's we have a lot of students who are interested in this type of work. So Tonika, Tonika, sorry.
Oh, you did it perfectly.
How can students get involved in climate justice work?
Folded Map was such a critical primary project, not only for me, but I would say a moment for Chicago, because it became an easy reference to talk about our issues with segregation, but also thinking about your neighborhood. And so quite naturally, it lent itself to me wanting to create a curriculum. And so Folded Map has a curriculum that really can be customized to grammar school, even though it was focused on high school and college. And I make that available for free to educators. It's a beautiful curriculum. All you gotta do is just, email me and we'll get it to you. But the reason I bring that up is because when teachers started to use the Folded Map curriculum, especially with grammar school and high school, what I noticed and what educators have shown me is that through the curriculum, we ask youth to think about what they love about their neighborhood. Do they know the story of how their family got to the neighborhood? And when they talk about what they love about their neighborhood, it is always about nature. It's always included, whether their relationship with the parks, the grass, the way that they play with each other at the playground or just green spaces. And so really what I think the Folded Map curriculum can help educators do is share with kids how they already have this innate relationship with the climate, with the earth, with nature, and to just nurture it. Because it's all about understanding you have a relationship with climate justice already if you don't even know it. I did an amazing project also with Elevate Energy, and it's called Empowered. And it was to educate people on how they have a relationship with climate justice already, they just don't know it. When you putting plastic up on your windows in the Chicago when it's, it's cold, and you just know, okay, this is gonna keep heat in, that's a relationship with climate justice. But a lot of people don't know that they already have that relationship. So I think it's totally, about just educating people and letting them know you already have it. We all see that these plants are beautiful, right? It's obvious. And so we want to keep it. We want to have plants. We want to have beautiful, lush nature in our city, on our earth. And so to really actually learn from kids, that's really what the Folded Map curriculum allows me to do, and that's how I think that students can get involved in climate justice, just by encouraging them their natural love for nature that they innately have. I mean, kids are always picking up rocks and dirt, and it's there. We need to learn from them, actually.
Yep. Yeah. So, it's very typical in the United States when we meet people, the first question in the U.S. that people tend to ask is, so what do you do? Which I find to be one of the less interesting questions for getting to know someone. So I always ask, what are you reading right now? That's my kind of entryway to getting to know people. And there's a related question that's come into the audience, and we only have literally a minute to go. So this is rapid fire question. What is one book you would each recommend that everyone reads to understand the history and future of environmental justice? What do you want people to read? Do you want me to give you time you already know your answer?
No, I don't.
All right, I'm gonna
All right,
go,
I think I
Tonika.
got one. Only because he's a mentor of mine, and I learned so much reading his book and about urban planning and how racism was, constructed into our built environment. And when you understand that, you really kind of unconsciously learn about climate justice and how our cities were designed to not even elevate it at all. So I would say Richard Rothstein's Color of Law.
Oh, that's a great book.
Yeah.
My entire research group read that.
And my projects are mentioned in his follow-up book, so
Yeah,
there's that.
his follow-up book is
But yeah,
great
Color of
too.
Law, I would say, you know, you could just pick it up, put it down. You don't have to read it front to back, you know. But it's a great book.
Yeah, it is. I actually put that. I gave that book as a gift to many, many people and put it on my list of one of the top 10 best books I've read in the past decade.
Yeah, it
It's a
just really
fantastic
lays it
book.
out.
Yeah. Jose, do you have a book to recommend?
Well, I don't know, there's two authors of this book. They're both British anthropologists, but it's called The Dawning of Everything. It really poses the question of how we have to rethink our canons of how we understood the ancient world as well as our world, and how we need to really seek the wisdom of indigenous people. And so I really would recommend that.
Crystal?
And I guess I would just kind of stick to my roots, which is really focused on like professional development. And as a sort of attorney and litigator at heart, I would go with Getting to Yes by Roger Fisher, which is just like a foundational book about understanding the art of negotiation, of
Being in
getting what you
conversation,
need.
dialogue,
And
yeah.
I kind of went back and forth about saying that or not, but I think a lot of community organizers and people doing this work know what they want, or sometimes have a concept for what they want, but don't know how to approach getting it. And then there are organizations like the utilities or government agencies that have stuff to give, but don't know how to get it to the right people. So I think understanding the art of asking for what you need, negotiation could be very meaningful.
Getting to Yes?
Yes, getting to yes.
Yeah, it's a
Noted.
great book. Yeah. This has been a fantastic panel. I think that there have been some really wonderful themes that have come out of this. One of them is the theme around we have to think and act and live collectively, that we are all each beautiful individuals, but our beauty becomes greater when we become a beautiful community. I would dare say when we become the beloved community that we talk about in civil rights all the time. So that's one key theme. Another key theme is about the importance of home. And across the globe, home is just so very important to all of us in the way that we live our daily lives. And again, redefining home in this collective, community-based way. And the third theme that I will pull out from all of this, I think it relates to something that you said, Crystal, when then the question was asked, how do you get involved in environmental justice? And you said, you know, really, there's whatever you like doing, there's a way to take what you like doing and applying it to environmental justice work. So I'm a, math, quant, stat nerd, and there I was in North Carolina watching the Warren County landfill. I kind of cut my teeth on political activism around that. And I was trying to figure out, how do I do this work that, moves my heart, as you said, but also, I just really like math. I just really, really like math. And how do I, and I was lucky enough to find a few opportunities to discover that I could take this thing intellectually that I really liked and combine it with this other thing that both intellectually and, in my heart that I really liked. And so this idea that, and all of that work is being done in this middle of this world that is rapidly transforming. So this is a perfect opportunity, again, picking up on your theme, Crystal, this is a perfect opportunity for us to be reimagining all of the different ways that all of your different interests can help us transform the world in a beautiful way. So with that, I want to thank our panelists very much for all of your wonderful comments. I think we're going to stay on stage, and Denine's going to close us out. So.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been just an incredible time, and thank you to our panelists and Chancellor Miranda. I also want to thank our sponsors. And we also want to just encourage you to reflect, take time to reflect today on everything you heard and carry forward the spirit of justice, resilience, and community, not just throughout this conference, but in the work ahead. So we're not done yet. We have a lot more ground to cover today. This afternoon, we invite you to please stay for a very special book launch and discussion with University of Illinois President Tim Killeen. It's a chance for us to explore bold ideas and collaborative solutions for a more sustainable future. And then we'll come together one last time, which makes me sad, to do some really fun celebrating of the incredible, incredible work that we've done here at SRI. You want to make sure you're here for the closing ceremony, as well as a wonderful celebration with the one and only Sam Thousand and the Vortex. You do not want to miss it, so don't leave early. Come back, join us. Thank you for being part of this moment, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.